Hey guys, welcome back. It's grimreaper coming at you for another video for Raidshadowlegends. Hopefully doing well and hopefully looking after yourself and on a positive start to the week wherever you are in the world. I wanted to talk about some interesting topic in today's video, and I wanted to get everyone's thoughts on this. So hopefully that we can pass this feedback to Raid directly from the video. So hopefully they're all going to be watching this and it will take some notes in this and let me know down if you agree or disagree with me on these ideas. But over the last year, we've seen some life and quality coming into the game, and some of it's been quite good. Some of it has been kind of a bit of a letdown, if that makes sense, and there's still a lot of life and qualities that we need in Raidshadowlegends to dramatically lower our time in game, especially when there's always new content drops like faction wars and whatnot, and we are due for some new content to drop in the next couple of weeks with like 7 new bosses. So I wanted to use today's time to talk about life qualities that we really desperately need in Raid, and we took some feedback from the streaming audience as well. A big shout out to them in my community on the Twitch side, where we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago in stream, and I wanted to get the feel from other people and whatnot. So before we get into this video, as usual, everything is just my personal opinion. Nothing has been confirmed by Raid and whatnot. These are just with the changes I would like to see inside Raidshadowlegends, and actually something done about it. And I want this to mainly to benefit all players inside Raidshadowlegends, not just myself as well. So let's get into it then. Let's talk about a couple of items. There is actually a lot to talk about and whatnot. So the one thing I want to talk about starting off with is pop-up. Now in the P vs E side, if you go into any fights and whatnot, you're missing gear, Raid would normally notify you that you are missing gear on your champions. Like for example, when it will come up with this, it will come up with like a pop-up saying that you are missing a piece of gear. Now when we do arena and whatnot, and with the free gear removal coming in, which is probably one of the best life and quality that we've seen in Raid, that the pop-up is now not coming up for P vs E and whatnot, and you can pretty much take any naked champions. I'll probably do it once every month. Take a naked champion into live arena, which is normally in seasons or in classic arena and platinum push or whatnot, and it can really screw you over, and it's a little bit frustrating. And you don't normally get a pop-up inside P vs P. You only normally get in P vs E, and that was something that people mentioned for that is going to be one of them. For me, another big frustration right now is how much gear that we move, etc. So I move gear daily pretty much for faction wars and whatnot, and like it's always messing up my gear, and I have to go through and all pull it back, and it takes a lot of time to put all the gear back and whatnot. So one of the things is storage. Now they recently released another set inside Raid, which would be the this new set. I can't pronounce the name. I'm not going to try and pronounce the name because of my dyslexia, and I will have someone upset dropping comments on my video saying how can you not pronounce that correctly or whatnot and stuff. So that's going to be something that I won't try and pronounce. But we also had Rebirth and Stone Cleaver, but it didn't increase our storage space. So as you can see right now, I have 30. I guarantee if I go put all my gear back, I'll go back down to 1,500. Accessories for myself is not so much of a problem, but I do play live arena on other accounts, and accessories are a bigger issue for most people and how much that we need. So I mean, more storage would be the short-term answer, but I think, to be honest, what we need to see is where we can have 2 different types of builds for people, or 3 types of builds, instead of like doing presets here, that we have 2 or 3 builds equipped to them and then use them in the natural content. I don't know how you code that. That's going to take quite a bit to do, but I think that is the better option overall. So we can have like 2 or 3 relic options, 2 to 3 mastery options and whatnot, especially for certain things. So that's one thing that I would like to do. And another thing that I also would like to comment on that I find very frustrating myself is gear cleansing and gear, and just rolling up gear is very, very slow. It's very, very tedious. And I think that this needs to be on the next life quality, a way to do stuff. Now you can use apps like RSL, for example, that can roll your gear for you and whatnot, and they're good. But the problem is, Raid do an update, you gotta do a gear cleanse, and you have to wait for that to be updated before you can roll. And as you can see here, most of my gear is rolled, but on other accounts, I have to sit there and roll like 1,200 pieces of gear. And it takes a lot of time. And if you're building a champion, you want your gear at least roll to 12 so you can build them correctly and manage your gear inventory quite good. Now, that is something that Raid need to do. So I have two ideas that we can do. Filters, add a way that we can only see like 5-star that's not rolled already, so we can hide everything else. So there is a hide feature here already, so hide filter sets or hide fully rework stuff, and just something like that, so you can select gear that's not already rolled. For example, a gear that's not rolled here, or gear that's rolled up to level 8, gear that's rolled up to level 12, and gear that's rolled up to 16, and able to allow us to use these filters for rare, epic, and legendary and whatnot as well. I think that would be a good move from Raid. And you know, gear cleansing at my level on my account does take a good 8 to 16 hours, depending on how much gear you have to roll. You need to go through all your presets and to make sure you're deleting all the old presets, so you're not breaking any of the preset builds and whatnot. Because, like, for example, if I go ahead and sell these, most likely I'm going to get a pop-up, the gear is currently being used somewhere. Okay, that's cool. I have 800 champions on my account. Where is this gear being located so we can see it? So that's going to come onto the next factor, which we'll talk about shortly. But for me, a better filter of that. Another option is to have a multi-sell button. A multi-roll button. So for example, we have a select all here for sell, which is a fantastic thing that I think is a little bit underrated. Where is the multi-select? So for example, we select 3 pieces, and then there is an option to roll them up to level 12 or 16 or level 8, or even if we can just roll them by 4 and whatnot. I know some people said in stream that it might be quite hard to control the RNG factor in that, but that would be something I personally would like to see. I think the filters on top would still be really, really good, because it's really hard for me to tell what piece of gear is not level 16 or 8 or whatnot already, and most of my artifacts are. So that is one thing that I would like to see. And then this is a in-game, I guess this is more of an issue for in-game accounts than it is for mid-game and early game, so it's probably not on the top of the list, honestly, for themselves for this, which is a bit disappointment. But that is something that I would like to see changed inside Raid, just to make gear cleansing and whatnot easier for everyone. And then gear presets, which is great, moving gear around. I would like the option to be able to lock gear. So for example, if the gear is on a preset, that we're able to lock it and it tells us where it is. So for example, we can lock champions to stop him being fed. Well, let's do that with gear and be able to lock gear. So if I'm doing a gear cleanse for someone, or if I'm selling gear on my own account, that we can see where this is, where the preset is, and then I would just avoid it to sell it and whatnot and move on with my day. And I guess people probably sell and break their own presets all the time. I know I have feedback from other people that they break their own presets and they need me to look at something and try and help them to fix it and whatnot. I probably get that nearly, I would say every 2 or 3 days I'll get that. Someone's messaging me that they broke one of the presets I've done a takeover for, and I have to go in and fix it, or I tell them the speeds that they need to do and all instructions to fix their preset as well, which would be a really, really good idea. as well. So that is a lot of the things I would like to cover on that. Now, some of these have been spoke about by Raid already. Another thing that I would like to see is the background battles coming in for Doom Tower and Curse City. Now, when we're climbing up Doom Tower, that's all fine to climb up to Doom Tower, and that's great to do. But why can't we have? Why do we have to watch the start auto climb? Why can't we run this in the background? Let that do its thing. I mean, this content's been dead for me for like the last, I don't know, 4.5 years, and I still run this every day because the rewards are great. Outside clan boss is probably the best rewards in the game, and yeah, they really solid rewards, right? But I don't want to sit here and do this. Like I could run this whilst I'm doing arena or doing per city, or at least allow me just to do arena content would be great, so I can flip that in between when I'm doing live arena matches or classic arena, whatnot. And it's the same with Curse City as well. Like Curse City needs a auto climb feature where maybe you can select what floors you want to do and let it climb for you, especially at the beginning and normal, or a way that we can just instantly battle. I think an instant battle for these, so we can put the gear on, instant battle. I've run these pretty much all the time. I've cleared every single rotation of Curse City myself, other than the first rotation. That's the only rotation I missed. And I would just like to be able to run this in the background and not having to worry about it, or give me a instant battle. Because this content's pretty easy now. It's just annoying that we have to deal with it and whatnot. So that's another thing I would like to see. I would like to see that more on Doom Tower than on Curse City. But I think Curse City as well, I would like to be able to see that now, and that give that a option as well. So for me, that is going to be another big factor I would like to see. I would like to see the background battles in general get a big buff. So for example, we are running masteries right now, right, whilst I'm doing a video, that's Spider Grim, which is here for Climbers' Clan, so that she's done now. So what's my next mastery then that we would need to do? Well, I obviously know what champion I want to do, but we need a way that I can do this, do the backgrounds, and then go into arena and do my classic arena tokens here in Platinum Arena or whatnot. So again, the background battles for me is something that needs to be sorted. We've had the background battles now for a while, probably about 6 months or 9 months, and they said they are going to update it a bit more to be a bit more effective. But when's that going to happen, Raid? That's a life and quality I feel like we do need, and it's a life quality they're put in, and halfway done the job, right? Basically, champion trainings are great now, which we don't need to talk about and whatnot. So that is another factor I want to talk about. I would like to see a quick battle for Chimera in the next 6 months. So again, it's for me, I have a tireless team. I don't worry about this team too much. I just basically want them to do its quick battle, but I can understand that it's not the biggest option right now. Another factor we have in this problem is we've had mythical champions now in the game, and I'm not a free-to-play player, and you can see that I have got 12 mythicals out of 23, 24 champions, which is quite good, but it's still very hard to attain. 2x's are rare, which is good, I guess, but most of you guys probably still don't have a mythical overall. One thing I would like to see from Mythical is the primal shards being buffed. Now, I can't remember what the last 2x is. There is a couple of agent shards that have been brought through the ultimate mix pack over the last few months, but I haven't probably bought many. I've only got 68. Now, you need to be guaranteed a Mythical, you need 230, if I'm not mistaken, for a mythical, and the remnants are just useless overall as well. So for me, this is something that needs to be buffed or changed, or give us a way to farm primals. Now, I don't think personally I want to see the mercy changed on primals, But what I would like to see is a way to farm primal shards better instead of cores. And right now there isn't many ways other than Hydra Clash. So that's Chimera, Hydra Clash, the 1 or 2 events, and Live Arena to farm primal shards, which you can farm for a month. I really like this gear. I really like this game mode. It has its own problems that we won't talk about today, but this is pretty much where I enjoy the most. This is the content I enjoy the most out of all of it right now, and it's challenging and it's good. It can be frustrating at times, even for me, but it is generally good. The problem is, I still think the rewards outside seasons are still a little bit underwhelming. Like, I mean, 50 energy and whatnot, this encourages some people to do live arena, but most people are not worrying about 50 energy, to be honest. I try and do this and enough every day. I do miss like 1 or 2 days a month, but I don't miss it a lot, right? So what I would like to see is the chest changed. I think everything else is good. I don't think we need to change it too much, but I feel like we need to motivate people to do live arena outside seasons as well. And what I would like to see is primal shards being able to be farmed from live arena. And this is where I think this would be the great option to farm your primal shards. Instead of giving us like a new clan boss or new options again through tournaments and whatnot, I think that this is the way to come. I've spoken about this before. I reduce this chest down to 10 to 15 wins, so we're able to farm the gear more. Outside Merciless, Zeal set is probably the best damage set out of all the P vs E content, and the Impulse was one of my top five sets, right, in the game, which is really good. What I used for hard faction was, sorry, so not top 5 set in a game, but top 5 that I used for faction wars, which was really good for 2P sets. Mainly on support champions I was using it, but I was using that for sure. So what would I change? I think we should be given between 20 to 40 primal shards a month to farm from gold 4. I think gold 3 should be a little bit lower, and then the gold 2 should be a little bit lower, and then so it should be like 10, 20, 30, 40. And what this would do, this will encourage all the players to be higher leagues and people to do live arena more, which would help everyone in the live arena system. So people who are currently in gold 4 who are struggling and facing people like me who are paid long term and have like pretty well built account would face me way less. This would make live arena more popular. This would help the leaderboards potentially as well. But this would really be useful for a lot of players who are struggling, like free to play, low spend, people that just want to play casually. I mean, imagine playing casually, being stuck in gold 1 and you're facing me on the first day of seasons at gold 4. You're not going to want to go back in there for the next 3 weeks, are you? Because you're just going to get absolutely clapped. So I think that this would really help, and this will help with the matchmaker system as well in seasons if these 4 become a lot more popular. And I think the only way you're really going to encourage most of the player plays, because people will still avoid it anyway, would be to buff this. And I think by making this 10 and giving us 20 to 40 primal shards a month, would that still get us mythicals? Well, you'd be guaranteed 2 every whatnot, right? As the mythical rates would still, you go from like 60, I'd probably have like 40 to 60 every 3x 2x events, and then you would change from like to like 80 or to 100, which would make fusions a lot easier as well, and whatnot. And it would just be a nice thing, but the problem is Raid are so worried about losing money and whatnot from like the 1% of players actually do spend heavy and not worrying about they would make all the money from overall, because more people would probably spend more because they're going to get the reds, they're going to get the champions, they'll feel like they got better chance, they're going to get more for their money and whatnot. So for me, that is one thing I'd do. Again, the gear sets are really good, and I think that this would keep seasons and non-seasons live arena very strong for sure. and then we're going to come down to the last thing. If they do that and they fix that, well, they need to also fix the problem with mythical terms, because I haven't booked a mythical champion this year, and that's what I've got this year. Sorry, I have booked one champion this year, and it was Clamidus on his second form. Outside Clamidus, did we book Clamidus? No, it was Androck. Sorry, it was Androck. It was only Androck on his first form. Outside Androck, I mean, I've only earned, like, in the whole of 2025, I can't remember if we bought Androck. I don't think we did. I've only earned 23 mythical tomes. That's crazy. Bear in mind, one champion for mythical is between 10 to 12 mythical books. And again, mythical books are probably not an issue for most of you guys, because whether you don't have the mythicals, or because you got underwhelming mythicals, or because you buy them and whatnot and it doesn't bother you too much. But mythical books is a serious problem as well, and whatnot. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video, I guess. There is all the changes that we need, I feel that we need in Love Arena. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with me or anything like that. I guess the only thing that I would want to talk on now is the market. I think the market still needs a buff. I think there's two changes I'll do to the market. Two changes here. The market, for me, I would drop the cost of all the gear. I think the cost of the gear, like this 5-star piece, for example, for 1 million silver is absolute massive problem and really stupid. And I think the items that we get here, I feel like they need to be a few more primal shards. I feel like there needs to be some more I feel like rare championship should be in the market, and I feel like epic champions should be in the market, or maybe give fragments, and then maybe give fragments to old fusions and whatnot. So for example, you can pick up like one fragment every, I don't know, 3 months, one fragment every week for like a torment, for example, or whatever fusion. They could mix it up with different people, right? So like different people could have different options there, or maybe there's like a wish list that you could select that ones you want to come up and you can buy it with silver. I think that'd be a really good way to do that. Or I feel like you make sure that you don't release a new champion in here, a new fusion champion, until they're like a year old, and then you throw them in. So I think that'd be a good way there to kind of do that. The clan shops need a bit of a rework as well. I mean, a 3-star assault at level 30 is absolutely stupid. Starstones, which I actually really like the idea. I mean, my clan were like level 21. We've still got to wait nearly 2 years. I think 2 years, 3 years for Starstones. I like the idea of buying Starstones, but that's still a bit underwhelming for how much clan gold they need. Token trader, don't even get me started on this. Token trader just needs to be changed altogether. Tag team arena shop hasn't seen a buff in absolute donkey years. There's been a lot of things added to the game that could be added here as well. So again, maybe a fragments for fusions. They could have rotating every 3 months, but a new old fusion in here for a fragment. You pick it up with clan gold or whatnot, instead of putting it in the market. And other options in here as well, maybe a new tag team arena league, and then they put in like a Titan version or Platinum Arena version or whatnot that you get locked into for a week, where they can put like a primal shard, mythical book. I think like a feast should be good in here. Barrels as well should be in here. Maybe update the brews. So let's say give us 3 brews, then this should be 30 or 50. Silver could be doing a brews, maybe give you multiple 3-star chickens, like 20 or 30 or 40 of them. I just think that these could just be really buffed. I'm not too bothered about the 5-star chicken, because the 5-star chicken, a lot of people would probably pay that, but don't spend and whatnot. But I feel like we get plenty of 5-star chickens in the game anyway, especially for myself. There's other options that could be added there for sure. Epic Tome and Market Book could be bad idea. Maybe not legendary tome, but that could be an option. And yeah, I think that these just could be better. Don't even get me started on the soul system. The soul system is so underwhelming. I mean, I've been waiting for Lamassu for 3 months now, and I've got enough coins and stuff and whatnot. To be honest, with the souls, I feel like we just need a way to farm the mortal souls and eternal soul stone, which would be great for the system. I feel like these need to be refreshed every 4 hours or every hourly or whatnot, and just have them keep being refreshed. I think every 4 hours is good for most people, but the main problem is the resource. So for me, for the resource, is I would just remove, first thing I do is remove the energy from here, give everyone 12 keys a day to do. If you want to pay the extra gems, you go for it. I think that's fine to do, and double these rewards. So for example, I would double this, like on a Sunday, all these rewards are doubled, and I would just double them all the time, and then Sunday I would double, right? And then maybe give us a way to farm the gold one as well here instead of just these ones. So maybe you release another 5 levels and stage 20, and then you can farm like this one, and then the gold one, and then maybe even the internal soulstone. That could be an option as well, which would be this currency, right? Would be that currency. Oh, that's right, this currency here. So this currency here being on the 20, and then this currency here as well. It's not just this one. I can't remember the name of the currencies, but yeah, you guys kind of know that. Then you can change it in between eternal soulstones and or the essence. I think that would be a great way to kind of do that overall. So there are changes I would like to see in raids over the next year or so that I feel like needs to be a big life quality program. Life and quality, and add mythicals, maybe just 2 slots of mythicals here as well, so we can start working on mythical champions and whatnot. Anyway guys, that is it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully I didn't go on too much. I'm hoping raids take some notes and whatnot as well. As usual, please remember to like, comment and subscribe. I've been Grim. I'll see you next one. Take care. Peace.